Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Newage Legendary Heroes Commander David figure. So for those of you who are unaware, this is a third-party company and this is their Legend scale version of Optimus Prime, but not any just Optimus Prime, this is the comic book version deco of him, hence the obviously startling reference there to the original comics. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging, and of course because he's Optimus Prime we've got an abundance of Optimus Primes to compare him with, including the very first one in Generation 1, the latest one for Rise of the Beasts. We can have a quick look as well at the Bumblebee movie one, and indeed we've got a few other things as well, like seeing how he compares to a standard Hasbro core class figure, a Studio Series core class figure, an Iron Factory Legends scale figure, and indeed another, of course, Newage figure as well. See how they pair up together. So as you can see, loads of things, loads of comparisons, even more than that to be honest, to come up in this video. So as I'm starting to pack these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out. So I also need to thank Show's eStore, because that's where I purchased this from, and as you can see they got it to me nice and safely. Right, so as I say, for those of you unaware, myself included, this is a completely new alley I've decided to go down, and indeed it is very interesting. So these are, I suppose they're classed as Legend scale figures, but they changed the name now. Hasbro changed all their names to core class, so it's as good as that. It's just a little bit bigger than a core class figure. We can see there what he's going to look like, and indeed there's a brilliant picture of him there with Teletran one in the background. So what these third-party companies are doing is pretty much the same as what Hasbro and Takara are doing now. They're making newer versions or redecoing figures, just in different decos. So with the third-party companies though, you tend to get a lot more. So for this particular David, there's a battle damaged one, there's a metallic one, there's a Generation 1, there's a toy colour, there's a cartoon colour, and this one, as I say, is supposed to be what he looks like in the cartoon, and to be not the cartoon, sorry, in the comic books. And I suppose you'll completely agree that he does. This was originally in a little bag. I've just taken him out already to have a quick look at. We've got his accessories here, which is a couple of sets of hands, a blaster, and indeed, of course, an energon axe. So let's have a quick look at some first impressions of him in his alternate mode. And what's really good about this is you can see that everything's nice and shiny. There's a real good, literally exactly that, sheen to it. It feels quite weighty as well. I know that some of the parts on here, you can definitely see through there, there's some metal inside that, and I think some of the cab, by the feel of it, it feels quite cold to touch, is metal and die cast as well. You can see that all the wheels are pinned in, which is fantastic. So of course this means that it will roll backwards and forwards no problem whatsoever. You can probably make out that's going to be his waist, and most of the other things in here are all tucked away neatly. We've got some beautiful translucent windows there, and you can see the detail there on the grille, on the bumper. It just, again, it just looks very good. So to give you an idea of some sort of scale, there's a Generation 1 version of Optimus Prime, so you could fit him literally straight on the back like so. If you're wondering why he's got red feet, it was the special, well, it was the version that came out in France, but that's for a separate video. But you can see he is much smaller than the original, which we can do there. Let's move that out of the way, and I suppose, as I say, to give you an idea, next to some of today's smaller figures, there's core class Grimlock, there's Studio Series core class RC. So you can see really small compared to these, even as I say Studio Series Bumblebee that's there as well. Yeah, nice and small. Right, to be honest, let's have a quick look. I think maybe we can attach the blaster on the back. I'm not 100% sure. As I say, again, if I miss anything out, feel free to call me out on it, to correct me, whatever. I'm not one of them reviewers who's going to take offense. I'm learning the same as everybody, and I'd love as much help with these figures as possible, to be honest. So let's just move these out of the way. There's an energon axe. I'm wondering if that'll fit there. No, it won't. I'm just trying to see if any of these will fit anywhere. To be honest, it doesn't look like you can, and I haven't seen anything in the instructions which says that you can either. I think, to be fair, that's it for looking at it in this particular mode. What we're going to do then, we're going to come back, have a quick look at him in robot mode, and again do some poses and see how well he displays. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, he's already in his robot mode. Quick apologies for the transformation process on this video. It's usually for 2 reasons, but in this case it's 3. The first is that I want to keep the main length of this video down. The second is with it being a new figure, I know some people really appreciate that first transformation process for themselves. And the third, in all honesty, is with this, it took me ages. I'm not going to lie, it took me about 20 minutes or so the first time to have a go at it. Since then I've done it twice, and I'm going to be uploading a separate tutorial video because it's so intricate. And just, I suppose, to give you an idea, these are the instructions that come with it. There's no writing on it, there's no nothing. It's just a case of looking at the pictures, and it is incredibly difficult. I'm not going to lie. Maybe not difficult, as I say, difficult might be a bit too harsh on it. It's very intricate, challenging, I suppose, is a better word. It's not frustrating, it's just very challenging. But as you can see, it is totally worth it. Look at this guy, look at the way he's reflecting. The sheen on him is absolutely spectacular. Let's have a detailed look at him then. So we've got a beautiful head sculpt there. Again, same reflective paint, full range of motion articulation on this. You can see it's on like a mushroom peg there, so it looks up and down, side to side, etc. The shoulders will go all the way around, they'll go fully out to the side. You've got a shoulder swivel, pretty much a double bicep flexion there, because obviously the way that it moves for transformation purposes. The wrists, there is a swivel there because these do come out. I'm going to show you that in a bit more detail in a second. There's of course a waist swivel. This is basically a mini masterpiece figure. There's a hip and side skirt, so you can go all the way to the front, all the way, if we just slightly loosen this, to the side and to the back. There's a knee bend, there's an ankle tilt and rock. It is exactly what I've just said. It is a mini masterpiece figure, and it's looking lovely. If I want to be overly critical, you are going to see what the problem is right now when I turn it to the side. That is this, because believe it or not, this is a faux chest. This is actually the front of the grille in truck mode, which is spun around. Again, if you want to see that, you'll see it in the transformation video. But that's perhaps me being overly critical, overly picky. You know, I say with the Hasbro figures, when they've got gaps, for instance, in the back of the legs, I'm like, I'm not too fussed, purely because, you know, you can't see it from where I'm looking. That's pretty much the same with this. I'm never ever going to be posing him like that, so to me it's not too detrimental. But I do want to point it out to people just to give it an honest review. While we've got this guy here, let's do a couple of other small comparisons for you. So that's of course Hasbro Core Class Optimus Prime, one of the newer core class figures. And again, I say this in all the videos when I'm doing these third-party legends, you get what you pay for. There's loads more articulation, it's loads more detail, but it's loads more money. So it depends what your collecting habits are and what your budgets are, etc. But either way, this is just, as I say, some comparisons for you to give you an idea. That's a core class movie bot. Again, all a bit smaller than this. So let's have a look at him with some other figures quickly. In fact, let's have a look at some actual other third-party figures. So we've got a Magic Square Trailbreaker. We've got an Iron Factory Hollow Mirage, or Phantom as I believe he's called. And then I suppose this is one of the most important not comparisons, well, I suppose comparison, or I suppose display ideas. This is of course Newage's Agamemnon, and as you can see, they display and look perfect together. Right, we'll do some more comparisons in a second. I just want to show you some of the things and features with this guy. So as I said, the fists do actually pop off, but before we do that, we can take the gun, we can pop it in like so, and as I say, this is fully posable in any way that you want to do it, bending, charging, running. I'm pretty useless, I've got to be honest, at posing figures, but I just want to show you how it will fit and how it will go. Now, one of the best things about this, and I love Optimus Prime figures that enable you to do this, is put the Energon axe. Now, if you really wanted to, you wouldn't want to because it looks odd, you could put that in his hand. It does just about fit. Again, I had a teeny little play a second ago, and I've had to go transforming him. You can put the axe in his hand, and that looks spectacular. It really does. I love it. But what I did have a little go with, and it does work as well, is you could take Nemesis Primes, and the cool thing about this is that's the same color as his legs, thereabouts. See how it sheens? So what you could do, if you really wanted to, is pop this in as well. It is compatible, it's the same size peg. Wow. Again, that's just me playing around. These are toys. I like to play around with them, and they do exactly that. I think that looks really, really good. Now, I've not separated all these hands, so you can have them pointing if you wanted to. You can also see that there's even these extra bits here to give you more range of motion with this. So what I mean by that is, if I take out this one, because of course it shouldn't be there, and if I pop this hand in there, you can turn it around, move it up and down. It's, again, just got so much articulation and so much posability. There's one thing I quickly want to remember to say. Mine of this part here pops off quite easy when I was doing the transformation. It did come off a couple of times. Again, it's not too detrimental, but I wanted to make you aware of it. And the other thing that I need to do before I forget is to show you, of course, he's Optimus Prime. We can open up the chest. I definitely don't have the nails to get that out, but I can very, very quickly just prise that out. I think that's metal, actually, is it? I don't know. No, maybe not. It sounded like that then, but there you go. Here is, it might be actually, now I've said that, there is the teeny tiny matrix that comes from inside, and of course you can see that just literally fits over them two tabs in there, and it's tucked away very neatly in there. And again, the translucent windows look beautiful. Right, let's give him back his axe, and let's bring in some other figures just for some more comparisons to round this up. As I said, I think I haven't really run out of things what to say with it, but I just think you're probably bored already of hearing me talking about how good it is. So here's some of the Optimus Primes that we've had more recently. So that is, of course, Netflix Optimus Prime. You can't even see it. Right, let's go back there, or let's tilt the phone. That should be a bit better. There we go. So this is the newer mainline Rise of the Beasts version of Optimus Prime. That's a Voyager class. This is also the Voyager class from the Netflix releases of these particular figures. I've put the core class there already, obviously, and there's another one, of course, we need to do. We've got to do this one, and this is, of course, Generation 1. Great. You can't go wrong with an Optimus Prime figure. You really can't. And as I say, I really like the idea of this being, whether it is the comic book, I read the comics again over at the moment. I'm not even fussed, because I just think it looks so good with the reflective paint that they've used. And as I say, with regards to displaying, he's going to look fantastic next to Agamemnon. But I'm really contemplating now getting another version of him, because this is obviously just the standard one. And again, I'm sure you'll agree that they do look really good together. He's just slightly a bit bigger. Maybe it's because he's got the new hips on. I'm not too sure. But there we go. As I say, if I want to point things out that are negative, it could be that. And it perhaps could be the transformation. However, again, it could be due to the fact that I'm new to these sorts of figures, and it's just really intricate. Hopefully you'll see that in the transformation process video I've uploaded if you want to have a look at it. But otherwise, as I say, that's pretty much it. Nothing else to say about this guy. I do really like him. If you want to get one yourself, there's a direct link to Show Z on the actual description. And of course, don't forget to use the code Support Your Reviewer, Toys R Us. In the meantime, this is the Legendary Heroes 27 C Commander David in the comic book colours. Thank you ever so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, as I said in the first part, if I've messed anything up, please let me know. Otherwise, take care.